Hi, I'm Guber, and welcome to another episode of Anything But Authentic. Today, we'll be making an indulging and extremely delicious dish called jajang lasagna. First, let's start with preparing the vegetables for the black bean sauce. Chop up onions into small chunks, around 3 cups. I recommend doing this last instead of at the beginning like me to avoid crying like a baby for the rest of the prepping session. Then chop up around 1.5 cups of zucchini into small chunks as well. And do the same for the green cabbage, around 1.5 cups. After the veggies are prepped, heat up a large wok or pan with 1 tablespoon of any neutral oil. Swirl the oil to coat all around the wok. After the oil is heated, add in 1 pound of ground meat, 1 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of sugar, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Stir fry for around 4 to 5 minutes. I'm using pork for this recipe, but if you like to use beef or chicken instead, the world is your oyster. After 4 to 5 minutes, add in the onions, zucchini, and cabbage. Stir fry for another 4 to 5 minutes. Afterward, make some space in the center of the wok by pushing the ingredients to the edges. Then add another tablespoon of oil and half a cup of black bean paste, which you can find at any local Asian supermarket. Stir it around for around 1 minute, then mix everything together. Then add 3 cups of water to the wok. Mix it around, let it come to a boil. While we wait for the mixture to come to a boil, let's mix the thickening slurry. Combine 3 tablespoons of potato starch, a 1/3 cup of water, and 1.5 teaspoons of sugar. Mix it well and set it aside. Once the black bean mixture comes to a boil, add the potato starch slurry into the wok. Stir continuously until the mixture thickens up. Then set it aside. Heat a medium to large pot of water. Once the water comes to a rolling boil, add in half a pound or around 12 sheets of lasagna noodles. Cook for around 4 to 5 minutes, making sure to separate the noodles to prevent them from sticking together. After 4 to 5 minutes, take the lasagna off the heat, drain them, and set them aside. Then we move on to the cheese portion of the lasagna. In a medium bowl, combine 1 pound of whole milk ricotta, half a cup of grated Parmigiano Reggiano, 1 egg, a healthy pinch of salt, and a sprinkle of pepper. Mix until everything is well combined, then set it aside. Now we move on to assembling the lasagna. In a casserole dish, add a good amount of sesame oil and brush them all along the dish. Then add a couple of ladles of the delicious black bean sauce, spreading it around evenly. Then add around 1/3 of the lasagna noodles, or 4 noodles. Then add 1/3 of the ricotta mixture, spreading it around as evenly as you can. It can be quite stubborn. Then add 1/3 of the black bean sauce all around. Then sprinkle evenly 1/3 cup of shredded mozzarella, followed by some more grated Parmigiano Reggiano for good measures. Then repeat this whole process, starting with the lasagna noodles. Note that the casserole dish I'm using can fit around 4 noodles or 1/3 of my lasagna noodles, so I'm building into 3 full layers. Feel free to adjust the recipe based on your casserole dish and lasagna noodle size. If you have any extra sauce, feel free to set it aside for a rainy day. After you finish assembling everything together, place it in a 375 degrees Fahrenheit preheated oven and bake for around 45 minutes. After 45 minutes, take the lasagna out of the oven and resist the temptation to eat it right away, even though you really want to. Sprinkle a good amount of toasted sesame seeds on top and let it rest for about 20 minutes before serving. While we wait for the lasagna to cool down, let's prepare the final topping. Cut up around half a cucumber into small matchsticks and set it aside. After waiting for 20 minutes on top of the 45 minutes of baking, on top of possibly another hour of preparing, we're now at the finish line. Cut up a healthy slice of lasagna into a nice looking plate. Garnish it with a good amount of matchstick cucumber. Take a nice picture of your plate and tag me on Instagram under the handle Grubbing with Guber. And enjoy your hard work. A sweet, salty, cheesy, creamy, and comforting slice of jjajang lasagna. Delicious.